We are live,
Live?
and my cat's about to try to climb
I'll
out.
let you do the goofy one this time.
There's always a goofy one. There's always a goof. There's a goof.
That's right. Hiya, folks.
Folks. Yes, welcome to Tavern Chat Live. Where you get you get your random daytime host. This is like The View. All right. If you're in America, we are The View without political opinion.
Well, wait a minute. We'd all have to have a lobotomy to be The View.
And we're also a sausage fest at the moment. So just saying,
we don't we can do about that.
Just saying.
Don't insult me by calling me part of The View.
I'm just saying.
You're our Whoopi. Glen's our Whoopi.
Oh, I better not be.
Whoopi.
Well, Thaco's Hammer, I call the sports center of role-playing game discussions, so podcasts.
Well,
I like that. I like that analogy better.
So our live broadcasts are kind of for our European audience, I have a feeling.
Well, yeah,
European audience.
Those are European, yes, and also those that are what's the word? Skipping work, or not being attentive to their employment. Just saying.
Playing hooky.
We've had people. No, Sadie, I can't play right now. I can't.
And here we are, the 13th, the day before Valentine's Day.
Yes.
What are you getting, Raish?
Oh, I already got it for her. She already has it. Yeah, she has it. Girl, all right. You know what? I'm being attacked by a very attackable kitty. Now, here's a back scratcher from my friends at.
I'm still trying to figure out what to get Becky.
Oh,
Bad Mike probably is already on it. He's already taking care of
what?
Your Valentine's Day for your
No,
wife.
we don't. We're not a big. We don't really do Valentine's Day.
Really?
Valentine's Day is a time for us to stay away from eating out. First of all, because
we kind of sorta, when we
house.
think of it. If I see something nice, that kind of thing. I have to go to Walmart after the show, so.
Ooh.
Yeah, prescription time.
I have to go shopping too.
Prescription time. Well, she's ordering the stuff, but I still have to pick up my meds. Tuesday, I went to the doctor and we totally redid my meds to make sure I have like 10, 12 meds I have to take.
Yeah, you got to be careful. They'll start building up and then they start having interaction, weird shit.
And when you move
down.
Yeah, and if you're moving around, changing doctors, I had to get them all on one doctor's prescription.
Oh, okay.
I got you.
They wouldn't like the doc. Oh, he's not coming here anymore. We're not going to refill it. That kind of thing.
I'm always trying to get my. Oh God, this is old man talk. Let's get out of this. Let's.
Freon and
Ozempic out. We're out.
Okay. One more thing. Yeah, I went the other day. I went to Walmart to get my Creon. $1,200.
What?
$1,200.
That's Medicare.
That is Blue Cross Blue Shield. $1,200. I gave him my Creon card from the site. I paid $5.
There you go.
Unbelievable.
How much?
Oh my God! Oh, we got Matt on the line too.
We got Matt on line too.
I have not seen him at a dog's age.
All right,
Mr. MacArthur. Remember
by the way, if you're a Euro, shout out. I want you to shout out on the chat and say you're a Euro. I want to know what our reach is. If we're doing this during the day, we're gonna get more Euros than we do at night. Because everybody always tells us the schedule's terrible. Oh, it's at night. We can't. Yeah. It's like 5 a.m. here. We can't do it. Whatever. I want to know.
Well, we had Glen last week.
So shout it out.
Yeah,
shout out your nationality.
Nice to hear from you again, Matt. I miss you guys too. I wish I could do it again, but I'm in Chickasha now. Yeah, I leave it to us to pick a town with a weird name, but that's Oklahoma for you. So,
all right, Well, last night on Talking Crit, we had two topics of interest, and the first one dominated talking, so we never got to my second one, which I wanted to talk about. Mm-hmm. So the first one was the fact that Wizards of the Coast has shouted out. They put the shout out. They're looking for game designers to develop new game worlds. And Eric and I talked about this extensively last night with Jim. If you want to say anything, Glenn, I'd be interested.
Well, unless we're going to develop the world with the hookers and the penisauruses, I don't know.
Listen,
wow! He went straight there.
That's a callback, boy.
Yes. So listen, I just put up a wiki page in the chat because I was surprised to see that from 2018, apparently, WotC has created 5 settings.
But that nobody's ever heard of, right?
No. Well, you've heard of some of them. You just don't consider them a setting because they're one and done. Right?
Oh, okay. They're one and done.
Ravnica.
I've heard of that. Ravinica?
Ravinica, yeah.
It's Ravnica, so Ravnica.
Yeah.
Okay, Ravnica. I'll play along.
Alexandria. That sounds like some Greek name, but Theros. Strixhaven.
Okay, Strixhaven I've heard of.
I've heard that one too.
Negatively, but I've heard of it, yes.
Okay. And Radiant Citadel.
Okay, I've heard of that negatively once again, but I've
heard of it. And that's it. And none of this stuff, this was all one and done, right?
Yeah, these were not campaigns like, hey, we're going to do Dark Sun. Here's the initial release. Here's the 6 follow-up modules. Here's the 3 supplements. No, it's nothing like that. This is just, we're going to throw this out there. If it gets really popular, we can do another supplement in Strixhaven or
in a year when it's no longer popular.
Yeah. Glen Seal don't get anywhere near this.
So anyway, we talked about that extensively. It was a lively convo. Let's put it that way. But
who was it? What, you two and
Jim but no, the audience was fired up. They were fired up.
Really?
Because this either means that they're creatively bereft at WotC or or they're going to shaft somebody like, hey, well, we want you to create a new campaign world, and here's $5,000, and thanks for your IP. Although we did find out, which I did not know, apparently Baker was paid $100,000 for Ebron, which I'm shocked they paid that much. That's not cheap. That's not cheap because the rumor was that Ed Greenwood was paying about $50,000 or $5,000 for Forgotten Realms, and I think his world has made WotC billions of dollars.
Yeah,
since the publication. Now,
right.
I made the point that Ed did get a career, and he wrote books. He's been employed the last 25, 30 years writing stuff for Forgotten Realms. So it's not like he didn't get anything out of it. Yeah, obviously did, but it's not like he's Jack Kirby and he got nothing for creating Fantastic Four
or Siegel and Schuster.
Yeah, he did get something out of it, but I think he's way undervalued for what he did.
Obviously. Hello, Iron.
But anyway, I wanted so Eric wanted to had his topic, and I wanted to bring up a topic too. And,
by the way, Mike, I just looked it up. You are correct. Ed Greenwood, the creator of the Realms, said he never regretted the decision to sell the property to TSR, the first company to make D&D. The $5,000 he made was $4,000 for the Realms itself and $1,000 for services as a design consultant.
Well, there's another interview of his where he says that he made the most money he ever made was on his Elminster novels. Because they had a pretty generous payment plan for those.
That's kind of a separate deal, isn't it?
It was all through TSR. It was TSR.
I mean it was a separate contract.
Oh, right. But that allowed him to write the books. They said, hey, now that you got this contract with us, would you like to write a few books about Elminsters? Oh, sure, I'd like to do that. So he ended up writing, like a dozen books about Forgotten Realms and Elminster. And those, I remember talking to James Lauder at a con once. James Lauder wrote a lot of TSR novels. He made a pretty good living off those. That they had a really good, what do they call it? I don't know what the word is. The payment plan for those was pretty good.
Royalty plan?
Yeah, the royalties were really good.
I'm wondering how much remember the guy's name made on the Drizzt novels.
He's still making big money off those. R.A. Salvatore's making
Salvatore. Yeah, I was wondering how Salvatore's doing.
He's doing really good. I understand he's written about 20 something of those, and he's just cranking them out, and he's making big money.
He found his Conan.
Sure, and he's actually done some. He's done a few Forgotten Realms supplements here and there. He's done he's done some writing in the game world too. But he made a lot of. There's a lot of money to be made off those novels because if you remember correctly, in the '90s, those were on the bestseller list, New York Times bestseller list, like every month. I
remember.
And the Dragonlance books and the Forgotten Realms books were coming out. They were on the bestseller list.
I read the Avatar trilogy and a couple of their supplements, and I remember those being on the bestseller list all the time.
As a matter of fact, the TSR novels have a place in history. They were responsible for New York Times changing how they did the bestseller list, and the reason is there was one point in the early '90s when the top 10 titles were all TSR Forgotten Realms novels.
Ooh, wow.
And serious novelists were getting pissed off. Somebody that wrote, My Travels with My Pig, and, it was some great breakthrough novel. Well, they couldn't crack the top seller, the bestseller list.
Which is funny because half the guys who wrote the Forgotten Realms novels were also serious novelists. So at least in genre.
They created a genre list.
Because basically, I know at least 2 or 3 of those authors were like, they did Star Trek novels, they did Star Wars novels.
But the quote unquote serious novelist didn't like their New York Times bestseller lists were taken over by, War Against the Gods and stuff like that. So they created a genre list, top 10 fantasy sci-fi New York Times.
And then like Bridges of Milpitas or something.
Right. So the Bridges of Madison County could go back to being number 1 on the regular list. And, Elminster Making of a Mage could go back to be number 1 on this list. So they actually separated the list at that point because it got, I guess, embarrassing for them because it was not serious literature, Glenn. What
did they do? Did they make like a separate genre?
They did. Yeah, they had that. They had it was called the Fantasy and Sci-Fi.
Over here.
Fantasy and Sci-Fi had their own New York Times bestseller list.
Amazing, isn't it? How things like that happen.
So that's people underestimate or they don't remember how amazingly the novel sold. Probably kept the company in business, Eric. I think for probably 10 years.
Kept it afloat.
So yeah.
They were making big money. That money was being rolled back into the company. But Elminster / Ed Greenwood did very well. The gaming business has been done very well by him. I saw him at Gamehole last fall. Really nice guy to talk to. Signed a bunch of my stuff. Just fun guy to talk to. Just fun dude. He's going to cons. He's having a good time. So the business treated him very well. He's worked in it for 30 years now, and his world is used by thousands and thousands and thousands of people. But yeah, it's. And then you think about what was done to Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko and those guys, Schuster and Siegel and
Bill Finger.
Yep. Simon and Kirby, Simon, Captain America, all that stuff. They got bupkissed. They had to fight for everything they got with that. And they finally
I feel for everybody except Ditko. So okay.
Well, Ditko's a weirdo, but he's still
then again, so is Alan Moore. So
but Ditko. He co-created Spider-Man. There's no.
I know that's why he co-created Spider-Man. He co-created Doctor Strange.
Yeah, but he got but back then the money all rolled back. So Stan Lee got a big chunk.
I sympathize, but all that
work for hire.
All that Ayn Rand crap and existential stuff he got into when he left.
A very weird person, but look, it's all work for hire, and that's the whole thing is. And so we were wondering. I wonder what the terms would be for this new designer. They're thinking of hiring it at WotC. What are the terms of hire for that? I'm sure it's probably more than 5,000 and less than 100,000, right, Eric?
Yeah,
somewhere in the middle of that.
It's a salaried position, from what I can tell.
Well, then in that case, that's probably not a great deal to create a world that might make the couple millions of dollars.
It's like, hey, you created a very successful world. Enjoy your health insurance. Until we fire you.
Yeah. Till we let you down.
I didn't know about Len Wein dying sick in poverty and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I'd say Len did have a long career in comics. Matter of fact, he was still writing till gosh, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I mean, he wrote for a long time. So he did have a long career in comics, but yes, he co-created a lot of characters also. A lot of those guys in the 60s and 70s did. They got very little credit for it. Look, Roy Thomas single-handedly revitalized the entire Conan the Barbarian character, name, everything, because until Roy convinced Marvel to buy the license for Conan, nobody knew about him. There was the Ace paperbacks had not come out yet. They had the old Lancer paperbacks. He was very much a forgotten fantasy hero. And then once Conan the comic came out, along with the Ace paperbacks, it blew up.
Savage Sword of Conan.
And now Conan's just a household name, and a lot of that was because of Roy Thomas. Roy Thomas.
I get a kick out of the fact that Marvel had his own series and stuff like that because he's now in the Marvel circle.
Oh, he's in the Avengers. He's been in the Avengers now.
I know he pops up in like the Marvel 2-in-1, Marvel team up with him and Thor or something.
No, he's time traveled to the 21st century, and he was in the Avengers for a while, kicking ass.
Yeah, that kind of blew me away. Oh, you know what I got on the shelf? I got volume 1 of the Essential Conan.
Oh, it's great.
But I've also got, check this out.
Whip it out. It's doing a Rob Conley.
Is it midget porn? We don't want to see
pants today.
No midget porn.
Check this out. I also have this.
Oh, the Solomon Kane. Is that
these are all the Solomon Kane stories they did in the back of the Conan comics.
Oh, those are the Savage Sword backup features. They were really good. There's a really good version of Wings in the Night that I will always remember. That's the first Solomon Kane story I ever read, and that was in the back of a Savage Sword.
I saw this really and I had to pick it up. He meets Elric in one of them. And there's one of them where he goes up against Dracula.
Oh yeah. They did some wild genre stuff, but no, they did a novelization of Wings of the Night that's really good. I can't remember who the artist was, but an amazing. It's pretty much a blow for blow. I mean, it's exactly the story, and it's one of my favorite Howard stories. Period, but it's definitely my favorite Solomon Kane story.
Well, we faked you out, folks. You thought we were going to talk about movies, didn't you?
Solomon Kane goes to Africa and fights the winged demons. It's crazy. It's nuts, man. But no. So anyway, we talked about that. But I there was another subject that we didn't even get to. So we get to debut this now.
What's that?
That's the fact that Daggerheart, Critical Role's RPG, is going to be released next month on Kickstarter.
Nice.
Well, I mean,
and I'm looking at it and I'm reading the description talking about Daggerheart, and it's not like D&D. Okay, here's my point. Did they miss their shot? Because it's been a year and a half since.
Oh yeah.
I mean, have they missed their shot by saying? I mean, Daggerheart. Can you imagine Daggerheart coming out right after the OGL fiasco and everybody just going, "Take my money"?
Yeah.
Just take my money.
What happened to the other one? Was it Black Orc or whatever the heck it was called?
Oh, Black. No, that was Tales of the Valiant. It's out and it's. I mean, it's out there. But I don't think people are going nuts over it.
Tales of the Valiant is a 5e clone,
right?
Daggerheart is 12-sided dice, and it's got a deck of cards.
Really?
It's like nearly 300 cards. So, I mean, that means that you're not going to be playing this on a VTT without buying a rule set that's specifically made for the VTT. So that's another income stream. Like, it's not like you're going to play it with a generic.
It's a 12-sided VTT dice system, which sounds odd to me. It's two 12-sided dice, and you have something called honor and fear or something. I can't Sorry, I'm messing this up. But you roll, and you have to get above or under a certain thing. It's a very much. It sounds like a storytelling game. Very storytelling, which would make sense. Critical Role being what it is. It's very much a storytelling game. The rumor was that Critical Role was going to start using this system and drop 5e, but they never have yet, which I think is surprising. They did not do it. because you think they would. Yeah, now they have to do that, right? It doesn't make any sense to advertise a game that you're not actually playing on your show.
So,
whoa, somebody's not happy.
Well, you got a dire cat there.
You got a floating cat toy there.
I know. Well, I was trying to distract her.
Hey, she spit at me when I was there too. So
wow, not a happy cat.
Yep. She is a happy cat, but she's very possessive. And right now, you know what she's being very possessive of?
Okay.
My mouse. She's like, "That's my mouse." I go to move the mouse, and she's like.
So Mark's genre says it's true. No faith in Daggerheart. I think they're too late now. That was going to be my opinion last night when we talked about it. Is that I think they missed their shot, because I think their shot would have been a year ago, because the OGL fiasco happened in early 2023, correct? 2024,
something like that.
Oh God, how can we forget it?
The OGL fiasco was late 2021.
No. It was early. It was January of.
Oh, 2022? It's 2 years.
2023. No, 2023. It was 2023. Because that was when Shadow Dart came out, and then the next year, because we had Kelsey at the con that year, and then we had Kelsey last year. Yeah, so it was early 2023. That was it. And so I think they missed their shot because it's 2 years after, and I think people have decided we're going to play this game, and this game, or we're just going to play 5e and we're not going to use the new rules, or we're going to play 5e and use the new rules. I think this would have been a huge success if it had come out kind of like Tales of the Valiant or Shadow Dark right about when this fiasco was happening, because Tales of the Valiant made over $1 million. Obviously, Shadow Dark made over $1 million. I just feel like this. I mean, now I could be wrong, and we're talking Critical Role here. So you have all these fanboys and fangirls that will run out and buy anything done by Matt Mercer and company, right? But is that enough to sustain a game? Is that going to be enough? Or are people just going to buy it, say, cool, I own Daggerheart, and they're going to put it on their shelf and never play it?
That'd be me.
You know, I don't know. And David has a good point. David's like, what happened to their cartoon?
What's still on there? Season 2's up right now. There's season 1 and season 2 are up there.
We don't hear anybody talking about it online.
Remember, season 1 got a lot of stuff, and then season 2 came out, and kind of nobody talked about it. And then, I mean, the cartoons are good. I saw season 1; it was great. I kind of dipped out after season 2. I wasn't that interested in the plot line, but nobody really talks about it. And for a while, there was where I was going nuts. Oh, the Critical Role cartoon is, oh my gosh, it's great, and it just kind of. I mean, it's there. You can still watch it on Prime. I think Prime. It's on Prime, so you can watch it, but it just, the first one got a real big bang, and then the second one just kind of. So I don't know. I mean, does what's Critical Role's ratings nowadays? Are they doing as good as they always have done? I mean, I don't hear people talk about them as much.
No, obviously we don't hang around in a circle that would be Critical Rolling, but I tried watching an episode of Critical Role, and it was painful.
Really,
it hurt my
So I do have I have something that just popped up on InWorld as of today. Critical Role has a new Dragonheart miniseries in the works, which will showcase the Age of Umbra campaign frame developed by Matt Mercer. By the way, they call these things frames. They're called campaign frames. And so what they do is the first book you'll have has 7 what they call frames. And frame to me is like, here's your basis of a campaign is what it boils down to. So they call them frames. Okay. In a recent video post on social media, Mercer showed off the final print version of Daggerheart's core rulebook, which will release in May. During the video, Mercer discussed some of the campaign frames that will appear in the new book, including the previously announced Age of Umbra setting. In the video, Mercer announced the Age of Umbra will be featured in the next Dragonheart actual play miniseries being developed by Critical Role. So that tells me that, yes, they are going to use the Dragonheart rules. And yes,
well, you got to
absolutely. So they are. Yeah. So I'm glad I read
What happened to that? Was it Candela Obscura thingy they were doing?
Yeah, that kind of just disappeared too, didn't it? What did happen to that?
Good question. It was a game system or something, or
yeah, it was a D20 system, right? Or my Candela Obscura. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Critical Role was behind that
Yeah.
too. Whatever happened with that? That kind of just came and went, and it was a horror game. It was a horror game. I remember. I don't really remember much about it, but I think the problem with that is I don't know if they ever used it on the show, and so it just kind of was one of those things they talked about it and they came out with the rules, and I don't think they ever did. If they're actually going to use Daggerheart on the Critical Role broadcast, that's a huge shot in the arm for it, I think.
Well, Candela Obscura is being showcased in a deeply atmospheric monthly actual play series from Critical Role. Watch on Critical Role's Twitch and YouTube channel.
Well, in that case, it didn't do anything because I don't hear about it until Glen mentioned it. I hadn't heard about it in about a year. So
that was the last thing I remember them getting involved in as far as
games. This announcement has some major implications for Critical Role. The popular actual play show recently wrapped up its third campaign, and there was speculation the show would switch from Dungeons and Dragons to Daggerheart for the next ongoing campaign. So there's still speculation. There's not been any but I would say that's a ridiculous opportunity to pass up, right? It has to. Their next campaign has to be using dragon. If your game is publishing a set of rules and you're not using those rules in your game that you show people on TV, that's weird. That So anyway, I don't know. I'm interested to see where this goes. I don't know if it's going to be popular or not. I don't know if it's going to crash and burn. I don't know if it's going to be wildly popular. Everybody's just going to go nuts over it. It sounds like it's different enough from D&D that it might not bring in the 5e guys that would be interested in something like this. And remember, that was a big, big plus for games like Tales of the Valiant and Shadow Dark. Is they're basically 5e, related.
Yeah.
And so you don't have to do a lot of thinking on your own to switch over to
5e adjacent.
Yes, adjacent. That's a good. Thank you, Glenn. So
you're welcome.
But Daggerheart seems like it's going to be It's going to be a 12 die system and totally different mechanics, and it's going to be quite different.
I'm sure.
Oh, definitely. It's just that again. We saw it. We with oh god, what was that recent Kickstarter? The Conoverse, whatever, the one that did 15 million.
Oh, Cosmere.
Cosmere. Yeah, it did 15 million because people were following the author, not looking necessarily to play the game.
Exactly. Yeah.
You may get something similar with people buying into Daggerheart just so they can go, oh, I understand what's going on in the campaign now, but not really being all into playing the system.
Well, if they're smart, they'll tie it very closely into their game, and that because that way you get your fanboys that are really sucked into Critical Role will have to run out and buy Daggerheart because there's going to be some information there that's very useful in the game. So if they're smart, that's what they would do. I don't know why they're not. I assume they're pretty smart.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know. I'm interested to see what happens next month because this could be a bust or a boom. I do not know.
Is it a hit or a miss?
A hit or a miss. All right, so here's something that's kind of adjacent to this. Kickstarter announced that they are now going to start tracking failed Kickstarters.
Really?
They're gonna keep people. Yes, they're gonna hold people accountable.
That's why I don't do.
It only took 20 years. It only took 20 years. Wow.
Only 20 years. Yeah. Dropping the bucket.
Now, why do you think they give a shit now and not before?
Elon Musk is going to come after him? I don't know. Why?
No. Backer kit. Indiegogo was never real competition.
That was just their tool, and now they decide to compete with them.
And I've spoken to creators that have used both, and anybody who's used both has told me, "Oh my God, Backer Kit, hands and feet above Kickstarter when it comes to customer service and caring about the creatives and the process with Kickstarter. If you're too small, they don't give a shit. You are.
That's too bad. But it was inevitable. I mean, they'd have to have somebody would come up and try and challenge them. Look what happened with Watsy and Pazio. Same thing.
Yeah.
But for a long time, I mean, look at remember when PayPal first came out, they could do whatever the hell they wanted because they had no competition on. People used to grumble and complain about it because at the time, eBay only accepted PayPal. That was all they accepted. So you had to, it was PayPal or nothing. And people grumble. Well, now there's all these alternatives to PayPal.
And I remember Kickstarter would not take PayPal.
Right. They were different. Yeah.
It was competition. Yeah.
But now you have, like you said, they have different. I mean, look, competition's good, right? It's good. You want competition because it forces people to do things better. When you're the only game in town, I remember there was stories in the early days of PayPal where it was literally just customer F you. Either you use this or we're going to cancel your account and you will not be able to buy anything anywhere because that's all that eBay uses is PayPal. So either you do what we tell you to do and toe the line, or you're gone. You're
now
done.
They're taking cards.
Yeah. Now it's anybody. Now eBay is not. Once PayPal spun off and went its own way, now and then eBay said you don't have to use to PayPal, and so it's totally different now.
Use your MasterCard or whatever. Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the early days they were draconian. The stuff they would do would be ugly. If PayPal shut down your account or what they would do is they put a hold on your account, which means they kept all your money and you couldn't take your money out while they investigated you. You're screwed. Your business was just ground to a halt. There was nothing you could do. You had to wait however many months it was. I mean, I remember hearing horror stories, people waiting 6 months for them to investigate, and they were holding tens of thousands of dollars of theirs. And then they go, okay, yeah, we investigated you. You're fine. And it took 6 months and they released their $50,000, whatever. I mean, there was crazy, crazy stories, but now they can't afford to do that. Well, maybe this means that things will improve in terms of who gets approved for Kickstarters. Instead of just I have a wing and a prayer here. I'd like to have a Kickstarter and I'd like to make $200,000. There you go, sir. Sure, whatever.
So we're gonna see Eric doing failed backer kits.
Listen, if you get to that point, and here's the thing too, right? And you hit this, Glenn. You were talking. You were comparing Watsy to Paizo. Well, remember, Paizo came into existence as a publisher of Dungeons and Dragon magazine under license from Watsy. So Watsy created their own competition. BackerKit came into existence as a tool to use with Kickstarter. Essentially, Kickstarter enabled their
deja
own
vu.
competition.
That's deja vu all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but just on I think magnitudes of level higher, especially when it comes to the amount of money that's being generated. And BackerKit comes into it with like Paizo did, with a proven record of doing good by its customers.
That's one of my drawings I actually found finally again. I had this on a t-shirt. I lost the t-shirt. I want to make another t-shirt.
One day down in the dungeon.
Dun dun dun.
Ain't that cute?
Well, put it back on a t-shirt, dang it.
I will. I'll get hold of Zazzle and do it again.
All
I don't know what happened. It's like some of my artwork is just vaporized somewhere around here. I look for it online. I can't find it. Looking on my desktop, I can't find it. Looking back in the closet, I can't find it. I don't know what the heck happened to this stuff. Anyway, I just thought I'd throw that up there to let you guys look at it.
You better keep it ready whenever the Glen Hallstrom Museum opens. They're going to need all that stuff.
Oh, well, it's like a presidential museum.
Yes, it's a money pit.
One of these days, I'm going to buy a table at the con and just sit there and just put this stuff out and start drawing. You sold these? Yeah, I guess. Whatever.
You could give me.
Is this the great Chris Clark in our chat, or is this just a random name, Chris Clark?
This is probably the great Chris Clark.
The great Chris Clark.
How great?
Pretty great. Yep.
North Texas, great. Inner
Yep.
City Games, great.
Oh yeah, if that's who it is,
I see those guys every year. Yeah.
Yep. Good deal.
That's Chris.
Yeah, nice guy. Nice guy.
Presidential, as in it becomes precedent.
That kind of presidential, not presidential, precedential. Yes,
presidential, or something like that. And I am.
All right, that's all I had to bring. That's all I had to bring to the table. That's it.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Oh, by the way, guys, hopefully by next week I will have a Gangbusters game. I'm still working on it here.
Hey, Chris Carter just reminded me. Can we talk about Castle Wolfmoon now? Because it looks like Castle Wolfmoon will be coming out.
What is that? I don't know about Castle Wolfmoon.
Oh no, yeah, things are worked out. Things have been worked out. I understand, Chris. Am I right? Things are worked out, and there will be a Kickstarter, a Castle Wolfmoon Kickstarter.
What is it?
Castle Wolfmoon is a project that Chris and Gary worked on together. And due to circumstances, it never was published before, but was still in Chris's files. Still a few hurdles. Chris, when those hurdles get de-hurdled, hurdle? When those hurdles fall to the wayside, we'll you know what? We'll give you a special offer. We'll bring you on in the afternoon.
That's a good idea.
And on a Talking Crit on a Wednesday evening.
Be right back, guys. I got to go check something out in the mailbox.
So the Kickstarter says notify on launch, so it's still just pending in there. But I seem to remember somewhere that things are going to have been worked out there. So if I'm wrong, Chris, let me know.
Campaign setting currently 7 adventures.
Wow. Okay. Well, nice. I'll be on the show if it had me. I don't know. Well, you're gonna have to write us a check, obviously. But after that, sure. No, that's great. The great Chris Clark. That's awesome. I'm so glad that got worked out. That is awesome. Now that's great.
Yeah, no, I've been following this forever.
So Gary, if I'm wrong, Chris, just correct me in the chat. But so Gary helped him. He wanted Gary to help him with a couple of adventures. He gave them to Gary to look at because they were friends, right? And Gary looked at him and said, "Can I add a little bit here and there?" And Chris is like, "Well, of course." And so Gary added quite a bit. And so there was, I believe, 2 publications that came out in the Castle Wolfmoon series that Gary, had writing in. And they were published, and I'm sorry, the names are escaping me right now. I'll have to look them up. There was 2 of them. And I don't know if this one is a reprint of that, Chris, or is this all new material? But yeah, so Gary had a hand in writing some of this. And it was scheduled to be a Kickstarter last year, I believe. There were some issues with the estate. Not Chris's fault at all. Nothing Chris did was wrong at all. And apparently those issues have been worked out. So this is awesome.
I am back. Mail call. I got something for the iPad sticker.
Of course.
Hold on a second. I'm going to embiggen you.
Let's go on the iPad.
International Possumhood. Yep.
So anyway, I'm sorry. Here, the adventures were called the Challenge of Arms, which came out in 96.
Wait a minute.
Ritual of the Golden Eyes came out in 99. Yeah. Those are the ones that Gary co-created with.
I remember those. Those are cool.
So he wanted to reprint those plus new material, and it just got caught up in issues. But apparently now it's been given the okay to go ahead, which is great.
All right.
Yep.
It's all right.
So this is going to be an interesting little project.
It certainly is. You got more irons in the fire than I thought.
There's actually an article here. Yeah, where's this article? This is actually a pretty good article. I'm going to send this to you, Gary. Gary. I'm going to send this to you, Eric. Gary's on the brain because we've been talking about it. We've been talking a lot because we sold out of North Texas this week, and we are we sold out in February, which is crazy. And so we're gonna.
So next year it'll live up to 600.
Oh, well, we're probably going to raise it somewhat. I don't think 600, but it will. I would say it's definitely going to be 550.
I have a feeling I'm going to be handing you money again when I get there.
Well, a lot of it, raising it by a little bit doesn't hurt because all it means is that there's more people that can register for games and also register games. That's really all that matters because we're going to get those are people that are going to come to the con anyway, right? They're going to come to the con. So this is a good story on it right here. This is on the Castle Wolf Moon stuff. But anyway, we sold out, and we sold out last year, April 1st for the first time. April 1st, and then we sold out mid-February. So that tells me there's a lot of people that want to come, and we maybe should look. Last year we had over 100 walk-ups. If we give 50 of those people the power to buy tickets, I don't think it affects the con very much at all, and that's something we'll do. No, that's just 50. That's just 50 of those people that are going to walk up. They're going to be able to buy tickets beforehand. We'll be able to process them beforehand, get the money. They'll be able to register for games. It makes things a lot better. So, So I've talked to Gary about it, and he's okay with this idea. That we'll finally raise our limit just a little teensy bit. But yeah, if you haven't already got your ticket in North Texas, you can still come. You have to walk up though. You will have to walk up.
2 flights. No. Just walk up.
Just walk in, and if there's games available, which there always are, there's always seats available.
And even if you can't register, it doesn't matter. Just walk up to the table and ask.
Yep.
They don't charge nothing after the 15th.
No. And we've got a big wall that we put all the games on. So you go up there and say, okay, look, there's an opening in that game, an opening on this game, or this game, and then you sign the piece of paper, and then you're in the game. So. Which we're going to try to have more table events. So last year we had an issue that we filled up really every table in there, and so you couldn't just run a game. I want to come and run a game, throw stuff in there. Yeah, normally that's no problem. Last year we had an issue. We didn't have tables.
We're going to have tables this year.
People that came in, but I think we're going to be okay this year.
Okay, because I might get a wild hair up my butt and want to run more than my scheduled, stuff.
Yeah, and that's a big thing with college. You want to be able to have open tables to just have people sit down and run games, but we were kind of stuck last year. We did not have those open tables.
I'm an old as a grognard. I'm an old con goer. It's like it gets to the point in a con sometimes if it is really busy like that, you grab a table anywhere in the lounge, anywhere, people's rooms.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
I've seen people play games in the bar. You can play. By the way, you can play in the bar. There's a gigantic table in the bar that can fit about 20 people, and I've seen people play games on that table in the bar. You can actually play in the bar. So
and I always I used to always hear, "Oh, you guys want to keep playing? All right, come up to my room," and you can
do that too.
Set that up, and they keep.
That sounds like a very risque invite, Glenn. Who did you make the invite to?
Could be.
Well, Stefan runs all his games in his little suite. He's got a little suite with all the giant, setup he has. All his
if you want to play with him, it's going to Porcorny Land upstairs, and
it's crazy. Yeah, he's got his own little con within a con up there.
I've never been there. I don't know why I never go. I see him. I say,
just go look at his setup. His setups are amazing. I don't
even care if I'm in the game. I just want to go and look.
Oh, I'm never in the game. I just go look at it. He has Dwarven Forge stuff that has lights in it, Glenn. There'll be a castle and you can see lights in the windows. I mean, he has some crazy stuff.
Well, I expect that out of him. Plus, he's a crazy New Yorker. So
he lives on the West Coast now. He's a West Coast guy now. So
more power to him. I'm not going to ask where,
but he's. I think he's in Washington. State of Washington, over by Seattle. But
being a Southern California guy, if you say you're going to move to the West Coast, to me, it's like you're moving to Washington or Oregon. It's like, why don't you move somewhere on the coast that's warm?
Yeah, that's north. They call that what? Northwest. That's a
the Northern Pacific or whatever.
Yeah,
but it's like you might as well move to Canada at that point.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, it's not as cold as Canada, but it is as wet.
Well, I've been to beaches in San Francisco, and they can get cold as hell. I mean, I went to nude beaches in San Francisco, which is even colder.
Okay.
Just saying.
TMI, but
bull crap. Yeah, a nude beach. Get this, a nude beach right under the Golden Gate Bridge. You can see the Golden Gate Bridge. You can see the Presidio, and there's people naked. Okay, whatever. I don't even think they can do that anymore. That was.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of people out there you don't want
to
see. In this day and age,
I heard they cracked down a lot back in California. In my day, I'm talking like mid 70s, and late 70s and early 80s. So you could do that kind of stuff back then. You can go to, I've been to nude beaches, no problem. Now it's like,
it was the hippie. It was the hippies, man.
Now it's like you got people watching from the cliff with binoculars, wearing the police bat, the police out there. Are they? Go get them. That kind of thing. But anyway, nude D&D. Now,
well, Chris says the article is 99.9% accurate.
What?
Okay.
What's 90? What? I missed that.
The article we posted about what happened with Castle.
Oh, okay. Sometimes I talk too much. You think?
Well, that's good. If you want to know what happened, you might want to check the article out, and then stay tuned for Chris's Kickstarter
coming up,
which will come out, which sounds really very.
I'm sorry I couldn't get into. I'm sorry I couldn't do James Spawns, but that's the way the money goes. Pop goes the weasel, if you know.
Well,
we were trying to get James on to any of the lives, even if it was an afternoon live.
We never could get him on. He couldn't do weeknights. It turned out it's his kid's bedtime, and I saw him do some other shows. I'm like, wow, you really blew us off. So he just couldn't do our time slot, talking crit time.
Maybe he can do it. Maybe he can do this. Who knows?
I don't know. I guess we could ask.
It sounded like I was talking. On Facebook, I made a couple of remarks. Sound like I was blowing him off, and I wasn't. I wasn't trying to. I wanted to do his Kickstarter, but I couldn't.
You wanted to blow James?
Here we go again with James and the kicking people's junk and stuff.
Yeah, no, he did the man
the man boobs thing. There you go.
I'll never forgive you. Never forgive you.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I've only got one Kickstarter I'm in right now. It's coming in April. Hell of a town.
I got the Jeff Johnson one, and I think I've got one more. I had to cut way down on my Kickstarter.
I do it rarely. Usually, it's people I know. Like even Tulane, I had to pass on Tulanian's new Hyperborea modules. I keep saying I'll see him at the con. I'll get him there.
Right. Yeah, I just just finances, man. You gotta, and there's not a lot of, not that there ever was really cheap Kickstarters, but there's not a lot of really cheap Kickstarters anymore. Usually, like the Johnson one, Jeff Jones's one, that was $40, and that was just the tier with the soft cover book and the PDF. I mean, that wasn't all extras and tchotchkes.
And then you have guys like Emperor's Choice. You ever seen their Kickstarters?
Oh dear.
There's like 2 levels, and they just want to get their stuff out there to people.
Yeah.
They're not trying to offer some big fancy, more expensive levels and stuff. It's like you pay $10, you pay $20. That's it.
Eric, what were we looking at the other day where the Kickstarter was like $300? Do you remember what we were looking at? Something. I can't remember what it was, darn it.
That was the
Casimir, the one that Brett Sanderson did. Yeah, that was $300. So we're like, you got to be a big fan, man, because I'm not that big a fan.
That's why it raised $15 million. Because the average pledge was like $300. I was like, out of your mind. How do you? And listen, I got in the land of Eam, and I'm like, and I get it, and I was like 3 books and like a storage box and some meeples, and then I'm looking at it going, why did I back this? Maybe I was thinking about using it with my niece, but it's 3 huge fucking books. She'll have no interest in that. I'm never gonna run this. And my friends would all call me names if I ran this childlike game. I was like, why? Maybe it's a donation for ShireCon this year. It looks nice.
Yeah, it's the finances, man. It'll get you every time.
Yeah, I was like, why did I? So
I slowed down so much buying game stuff. That Duero Deep you gave me, I think that's the first new thing I've gotten in my collection in like over a year.
We've all got so much stuff, as it is. I mean, I don't need to buy anything ever again to be able to run games for the rest of my short life. I mean, I don't know.
This is why it's going to the grandkids. It's like somebody should get some use out of this.
Right.
Chris, you can't call us names, man. You're not allowed.
Yeah, and like I said, it's finances. Hell of a Town. I did it last September, October, when I had the money. It's always when I have the money. Sometimes the money and the Kickstarter kind of coincide, and it works.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, backer kit. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to look more at backer kit. I'm going to look more at some of the stuff they have and see if it's worth it.
The one thing about backer kit is that a lot of it is incumbent upon the person doing the Kickstarter or the backer thing to get the word out, because people don't normally, like you're saying, they don't normally think to look there unless you've got to kind of do a lot of your own marketing. Now they'll help you a little bit, but you've got to do a bunch of your own marketing with that.
Yeah, it's not like Kickstarter where it's a kind of like a built-in environment.
Or Indiegogo, same thing. Yeah, it's not like that at all.
Indiegogo though, like nobody really does. Indiegogo got a bad rep.
Really?
When they were doing when you could fund, when they took your money as it funded. You
right.
Could do it so and all right, well, we never funded, but we're keeping your money, type of deal.
Yeah, it was. They've straightened that up. Frog God's done a lot of Indiegogo and then we haven't had any problems but we don't use it for a lot of money. We'll do like our Indiegogo is like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. We don't use them for big money projects, but we don't have any problem with Indiegogo. I've never had any problem getting something off Indiegogo, but yeah, they had a bad rep for quite a while.
Yeah. Right, and also Kickstarter is the big bad boy, and they are the ones that everybody goes to do a search for RPG, OSR. Even me, I forget to go to Indiegogo. I forget to go to BackerKit. I never read the Sanderson books. No, but those.
The only time I ever go to Kickstarter anymore, if I got one going, I'll check up on it once in a while. But the only time, if I see an ad like on Facebook, and I'll click it. I don't even go searching for anything on there. And I was looking the other day on my Kickstarter, and it's like I backed 23 projects. My God.
That's it?
Yeah, I know. That's it. But yeah, that's a lot for me. And
Eric, you remember your Zine Quest? Remember that month? What was it, a few years ago? You Zine Quest. How many did you do? It was some ridiculous number.
What, like interviews?
No, yeah, but you were also backing a lot of Kickstarters too, weren't you?
I was backing a lot of Kickstarters. Some of them we only backed for $1. I will admit.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well. But yeah, for most of the Zine Quest, I was backing because I was interviewing these people thanks to PAX back in the day, and I think I did like in the course of 2.5 weeks, I did like 23 interviews.
Yep.
It was ridiculous.
Chris, 23, that's over the course of at least 5 years. So,
all right.
And only one hasn't and only one has not fulfilled. And we all know who that one is, don't we, Eric? Yes.
Yes.
Good old Yar.
Yar. So let's see. I have 31 projects. Listen, I've backed more projects that didn't fund, that either canceled or just didn't fund. They refund or they funded and they refunded their pledge levels because I guess it wasn't. There's a secret, by the way. There are Kickstarters that will successfully fund, but they did the math hoping that they would get stretch goals.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't hit the stretch goals, they can't produce at the money they say they can.
Oh, dear.
And therefore, they cancel and refund. So I backed 31 projects that canceled or were unsuccessful.
Either I'm really picky or I've got a really good spidey sense for Kickstarter.
Well, these are ones that I didn't lose money on. Those 31s are not money lost. They, again, didn't fund.
Right.
They got canceled by the creator or they refunded.
I've never had a refund. I've never had a refund.
I have 617 projects that were successfully pledged.
Over the period of what?
Since the beginning of Kickstarter, so 2010, 2008.
I'll tell you something interesting. I saw I had 2 Kickstarters in the last few months that refunded me, and both of them kind of sent the same little note that, hey, it just wasn't going to happen.
Wow.
And so here's your money back. I was like, wow, that's a change of pace in the way Kickstarter used to be run in the old days, where it's like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to finish Kickstarter, and by the way, you're screwed. See you later. And
actually, 2014, because Quantum was one of my first ones I backed by Joshua Frost, and that was one of the first ones that never. Well, actually, it was last updated in 2014. Let me see when it funded. Hold on a second. Hold on. All right, he was estimating delivery in April of 2012. So I'm going to say it was probably 2011. Yeah, the Joshua Frost is one of those people that thought that this was their way to start a business.
Oh no, that's never works out well, does it? Never works out well.
And it's one of those, and that was the reason why I started doing the Wayward Kickstarter posts back in the day, where people like Joshua, and nothing personal against Joshua, but Josh did the Quantum Kickstarter, and then before the book even released, did a follow-up for a supplement for Quantum. Now, how do you buy a supplement for a game that you don't even have the core rules for yet? And that's when he had to come out and pretty much say, hey, yeah, I didn't know what I was doing.
Was that?
I had no clue what I was doing.
Well, here.
For a minute, I thought he had a pyramid scheme going there.
Well, here. This is from May 6, 2014. I might do a post on this. I've spent, dude, the better part of the last 8 months trying to decide how to write this post. I'm just going to say it. The project is dead for now, possibly forever. I spent the better part of the last 2 years trying to not throw anyone under the bus regarding the project's tardiness. I've been non-specific about details, taking the blame for it, watched people compliment the reason the project was late, and is now dead as being a hard worker while I'm some asshole slacker.
Wow.
Well,
somebody's not happy.
And then he does start throwing people under the bus.
Oh, the bus.
So here's the reality, okay, because I did a little digging into this. He spent this money, though, on an office. He spent the money on an office and I believe a secretary.
Shades of the Wandering Wizard.
Shades of the producers.
That's what Nystel did, and he got way ahead of himself.
He's the only one that failed that I feel sorry for, because he will never.
I don't know. He
will never.
Okay. He worked into a. He was at Page. He was at Page this year signing autographs.
No, I mean,
the
guy didn't have a clue as far as how Kickstarter worked, and he suffered for it, and I'm sorry about that.
if you don't have, well, no, but here's the thing: is if you don't have the kind of work ethic, and the problem is the early Kickstarters were real important about you having a work ethic that you had to, because you were unaccountable to really anything in the early days of Kickstarters. It was the Wild West. So you just had to have a work ethic, and you had to want to put out a Kickstarter that people would want to buy further Kickstarters. And so, yeah, he was just one of those people that didn't have a work ethic, really. Got all this money, went out and bought an office and bought, like you said, secretaries and this and that, and then wanted to start a con called Dwarf Con in Austin. Took orders for that, and everything just imploded. He just ran out of money, and he didn't have anything published, nothing written, and he just ran out of money and just said, "I don't know what I'm doing." And I don't know how one's going to work out, but it doesn't sound good when you start buying offices and and new cars, or I don't know, whatever.
I hear you.
The story was, I don't remember the story with Center Stage when they went under, was that Matt had bought himself a new car, but that wasn't true. Actually,
that was like a big bomb going on.
But that blew up too. That blew up huge though, because the first one he did got a lot of money, and so rather than fulfill that Kickstarter, he said, "Ooh, I want to strike while the iron's hot. I'm going to do part 2 to this miniature Kickstarter."
Oh yeah.
And then that made less money than the first one, but he was already in for so much. He already prepaid the sculptors. He already paid all the sculptors and all the people. He decided to do a third one. It was a Ponzi scheme that worked in reverse, because then he kept making less money every Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And he needed to make way more than the Kickstarter.
Remember the Tome of Horrors miniatures? I remember that. That was part of the deal.
Oh, yeah.
He kept telling us over at Save or Die, where I'm going to send it to you. We're going to, yeah, well, fine. Do it when you can, I didn't believe it was going to happen anyway, so.
Yeah, so this is some of the excuses here. I built an amazing business plan and budget with the help of a nonprofit in Seattle that does just that for new small businesses. He was putting the Kickstarter money into the business, not the project. Mm-hmm. I hired the right people, and for the most part, they were. And then the problems with the company started. And then he blames it on the artist not doing the work fast enough. Well, the dumbest thing I'd done is I started a new Kickstarter so the second one didn't fund, because people were like, no, And after that Kickstarter failed, I generated new budgets and a new business plan.
Oh, boy.
And then in 2013, May, I hard looked at my family finances, and it made it clear that I wasn't going to sustain not having a job or even a company much longer. So he fired the artist that was slow, and then had to... then like 6 months later, he broke down and realized he needed a fucking job. And he worked part-time as an admin at a sporting goods store. And he felt it was a demeaning job, well below my talents and job experience. You know what?
Okay.
This is somebody who should have, honest to God, should have just done the project, completed the project, moved on to the next one, and organically grew the company. But instead, he's like, I am jumping feet first into this. Mm-hmm. This is my career. People trusted me with their money. So
who is it? Now, what's state for the audience? Who is this again?
This is Joshua Frost. He got like 6 innings back in the day.
I didn't. People think we got.
He actually raised nearly $43,000 of a $13,000 goal, and thought that meant. That's the money for a company, not for my project.
You know what I keep thinking about? Disney.
This is Quantum, right?
I keep thinking about Disney, not the corporation, but starting out. Walt and Roy knew that whatever profits they make for feature films, they will pile like 90% of it back into another production. Then they started building their company.
Yeah. See, this was the land grab period of
that's
Kickstarter.
doing it in reverse, and that's stupid. Crazy.
Wow. I know, but that's what it is. That's what it does. Well, I think we've occupied the lunchtime for many of
our. You've had a chance to eat your sandwich, drink your Diet Coke, and have some chips.
Another candle on the birthday cake. The birthday cake. Even that Sheriff John from LA when I was growing up.
Sit in the stall at work with your phone in front of you as you're hysterically laughing at the live stream, and people are wondering what noise is coming out of this stall next to me, and it's like, oh,
well, you're in the stall watching it. Well, it's better. Well, you could be in your car. You don't have to be in the stall.
Listen,
your car
that could be Joe. Joe could be watching us.
Oh boy,
as we
Penosaurus. I want to see. I want that to come out of a cubicle somewhere.
Oh my God, Glenn, you're gonna have to do the Penosaurus art. I'm sorry. Folks, Chris, I was massively entertained.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Chris.
Yes, thanks for popping in, Chris.
Are you not entertained?
We're going to have let us know. Keep us updated on the Kickstarter, and we will have you on the show, brother.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, folks, there's another live stream tonight at 8 p.m.
Which show is there? I won't be. I got rehearsal tonight.
And Tom.
The vlog of many things.
Random party tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Gamers House 8 p.m. on Saturday. It's
and Triple D, who knows right now. So we're going to we're going to Hell Week for the show. So
folks, subscribe to Glen's YouTube. Glen, what's your YouTube channel?
Glen Hallstrom, or Smokestack Jones. I forget which one.
Smokestack. Search for it.
And don't forget Thicko's Hammer. Don't forget Radio Grognard. And whatever the heck Mike is up to over there.
When the new Sacred Hammer comes out in
which I am editing this time.
All right. So it's not months. It's roll D12, and that's how many weeks. In that many weeks, you'll see the next.
I'll get it out as soon as I can get it to Brian.
Okay.
So he gave me all the stuff, and I'm going to redo it. I have to go through. I think I said a profanity in there, and got to get rid of it.
Oh my God!
Hey, I got to have one show that's least like PG.
Fuckity fuck.
Wow. Okay. Well,
I
wasn't going to go there at lunchtime. No, lunchtime I don't go there.
Just wanted to get it in there.
I haven't started drinking yet. That's why I'm much more mannered in my afternoon shows. I haven't started drinking.
Yeah, neither have I.
Well, work on that. So I haven't either.
I could day drink. I could day drink all day long. I don't know why.
I got a funeral to go to tomorrow.
Oh no. I'm sorry.
God bless.
Go with God. Thank you.
All right, folks. On that note, be safe, be well. God bless.